as well. It's going to allow Dalton to get into the back, and a quick little flashbang found the hammer. So Mitsu would be happy about that.
He's going to be traded 1 for 1, but it does give the Vancouver Titans a bit of space now onto the point. Maybe they can capitalize. Maybe they can get a couple of more picks. You see the wall is going to be splitting them up. And they do manage to flip the point again into their favor, so you can see here, it's going to be accruing a bit at a time, but already that symbol has been built up. BQB is going to start shredding, and the damage is done as the Florida Mayhem are going to regain control, flipping it over. Now they're in a pretty solid position, and look at this stagger as well. Brutal on the front. We'll see what the Ice Wall can do. It's a bit of a miss here coming through as the players, they're completely split up onto the point. But it's Gangnam who's the first one to go down, as Dalton is finding so much value and damage. Rolling deep. The Soundbar is going to be traded out by both these teams, but a little bit late from Slime.
A little bit late. That was an eon late, Brent.
I was being kind, Josh. Positions, but the TP comes through. They're going to try and make it work here. The Blizzard, the wall is perfect. Teru again with some great plays to split up the rest of the team. The Vancouver Titans are quick to capitalize off it once again. Another
caught by the walls. They're really nice by Teru, actually. A new addition, and there's Shredlock. He gets the shatter, catches Yaki, and forces out that ice block.
OG's in so much trouble here, and he's been brought so low. The Blizzard ate up as well by Fried, and the overtime will tick, but ultimately no one from Florida is left standing to contest. And that's going to be round 1 going to the Vancouver Titans.
It's just Gargoyle splitting himself off, playing on an off angle.
What a massive gravitic flux. It's going to catch on to 3 targets, and that's going to set them up for the damage. Slime with the boop as well. Holy moly. So the Florida Mayhem, it was looking a little bit sketch, but they managed to make it work.
This is a great win condition for Vancouver if they can play fast enough to get this pick and get back to the point. But Mayhem have already flipped.
They flipped the point, Josh. They flipped the point. And they might be 1 player down, but they're going to get the freeze now onto Fried Wiener. The Blizzard is going to be free as well. Unable to be 8 up. And the Vancouver Titans, they thought they spotted an opportunity, but the Immortality field was too good. OG being pressured heavily there. Ends up going down to the Fire Strike. Unable to get the Earth Shatter off. The Vancouver Titans, I mean, it was a little bit sketch, but to get this kill, finally getting the D-Mech here onto Fried Wiener. But look at this. Rolf with another window. This is going to be a lot of damage consistently pushed in. Fire with a great boop. Gargoyle, he tried to pile drive right into them, but just got punished for it immediately. And OG's been caught out of position. Frozen up again, off onto the sidelines, taken out. And yes, the Florida Mayhem have managed to flip the point, but at what cost? They've lost so many of their players. Overtime still burning, now the Blizzard as well. Teru having to go into the ice block just to try and contest and keep that overtime going. Boot back immediately. You can see the counter Blizzard also falling out, but nobody's taking care of BQB. The window is laid down. It's overlaying a ton of damage on top of what he was already dishing out. And that's going to enable the Florida Mayhem to take that one. No one's focusing down the Immortality field still. OG's caught out of position, finally goes down, and is going to get into line of sight of his own Immortality field, keeping him alive for a few brief moments, but not long enough. Shredlock will be the one to remove him from the fight. Quick little Fire Strike does the business. And it just left up to Gargoyle as one of the sole tanks. Not a lot that he can get done, but thankfully the rest of the Florida Mayhem seems perfectly adapt to it.
BQB and Yaki are getting so much work done whenever they have the opportunity to. With space and time to be able to hit their shots, they are managing.
Florida have to answer back with one of their own, and they do just that. OG again getting caught out, but a flashbang is going to save him into the gravitic flux. It's a ton of damage. Anything to work off? Yes, it is. The Florida Mayhem able to find a couple of picks. Just a couple of players left standing here, but the Florida Mayhem holding on. Only investing the 2 ultimates. Admittedly, they were pretty big.
They've only managed to catch Fried, but that might be the only pick that they need here. This is so messy from Florida. The sound barrier only catches the back line.
Yep, Slime only being able to save the supports. OG trying to clutch it up with a shadow, but gets met with his own. And the amount of times he's seen the MTD, that main tank difference, I mean, this feels a little bit different to the previous series that we've watched.
Which normally means you have to apply pressure. This Deadeye is going to create a lot of space for them, though.
Wow, okay, yeah, the grasp, not really doing too much work. I mean, he ate up a lot of the Deadeye damage, but the players are already falling on the side of Florida. Gravitic Flux is going to be used almost immediately here. Realizes there's an opportunity to catch some of these players off guard. Rolf goes down, just about missing the accretion. Going for the 1v1, but the shields, look at that. Brian ends up bringing himself down with his own hyperspheres. Still a winnable.
The sound barrier to rely on as well if they get caught. They have been completely caught.
were completely caught out of position. Fire has to use the sound barrier very early on. Slime not close to one of his own, but they've got Shredlock down. They burnt him down. Slime needs to be able to build this up to give his team the advantage. OG stalling it out. What a beautiful shadow catching it onto the one player. And finally, the sound barrier is going to give them that HP advantage. Only a couple of players remaining, 91%. The point will go back into their favor here. The accretion just to try and stall them off. Shredlock realizes, I've got to take a risky angle. I've got to try and make some plays happen with the Earth Shatter. Not going to work. He's going to pay with his life. Fire just stalling the overtime as the players from the Vancouver Titans desperately try and hold on to this. With the amount of players that the Florida Mayhem have, all they've got to do is just focus their fire down, find the remaining players now. You see the Blizzard from Teru just trying to turn this around, but Slime just getting all the work done as well, zipping and zooping around the map. The Amp Matrix not going to be doing the business, and that's going to be the Florida players. Chicago getting frozen up here. In the process, caught out of position just a slight tad. But it is Fire who will be the first casualty as the Immortality Field fades as well. Vancouver Titans with a bit of a disadvantage now coming into this fight as they're stunned up and locked up in the choke. Unable to really withstand a lot of this pressure that's being pumped out by this Florida Mayhem squad. It's going to be the early capture of checkpoint approach here. They've caught a couple of the teammates off guard, but again, a bit of miscommunication. The Amp Matrix comes through and OG blown up as he was mid-fire strike swing. Not able to get anything done off of it, and the Vancouver Titans, that's a critical place to hold now. This choke point can be...
As soon as everyone went to punish Gargoyle, he tried to shatter them at their backs. So good play by Vancouver to be still aware of that. And Shredlock comes out with his own shatter at the beginning of this fight. Unfortunately, Teru the first to fall.
See the sound barrier is now traded out by both, or just the one member here, as Fire is going to be using it just to try and keep his team back up, but that's going to be futile. Florida Mayhem locking it all down. Yaki's Blizzard doing a ton of work, and yeah, just the tail end of the team fight here. As Florida finally break through this cursed choke point. Much out of it. A lot of the damage being pumped in through now as the Amp Matrix are falling, and look at that, Rolf with the pick onto BQB, the Gravitic Flux to answer. Skygo wants to try and convert this into a win, regardless of the man disadvantage that he's accrued. And they're going to do just that here, the Florida Mayhem investing and being rewarded for it. Finance 101. I was learning about that this morning. The Blizzards now, or at least the Blizzard from Teru being thrown out. Slime going to be using the sound barrier just to keep his team alive, but he's caught out in the corridor. Again, the Ice Wall is pretty brutal here. Okay, and the Blizzard is catching 3 of them, but look at this. Teru ended up using his own Ice Wall, so they can't even capitalize. They can't push off the back of it. Going for a little bit of a cheeky play here as an off angle. Hits one headshot, not connecting on the second one here. Slime with the kill. A couple of swings now from OG, pinned against the Ice Wall. Beautiful work here as they just managed to sweep up the rest of the Vancouver Titans. And this card's going to start rolling in. A bit of a dangerous situation for the Vancouver Titans, despite the ultimates they've got, because they've got to get past this chokehold that they've got here at each exit.
And BQB's Deadeye too. If you get past the front line, BQB's waiting. Shredlock tried, but it's not going to work. 1 minute and 58 seconds on the clock. Multiple times now in this match.
Flashbang tries to go over to the shields. They're trying to set this up here, but look at this. The Florida Mayhem, the ones who are winning at the end of the day. Beautiful shots from BQB. Nicely done.
Yeah. They just did it again there, Brent. I don't know whether you noticed, but they split.
See that they're capable of trying to do something similar. You can see the Vancouver Titans really not wasting any time. The Amp Matrix comes through, but what an Earth Shatter. Oh, gee. That's 2 players down, and it sets up BQB nicely with the Deadeye. As Terror is going to fall. Now it is a rumble in such a close corridor here. You can see Vancouver Titans just trying to edge us out, but ultimately they do not have the player advantage necessary to try and...
Value from the off angle is the play.
It's a ton of damage into Shredlock with the Blizzard laid down as well. And look at this off angle by Gargoyle. No one's checking him whatsoever. He's just getting in so much work with the Hyperspheres. Lynx are desperate to try and do something, maybe, you know, take a player down with him, but massive ult. You see the Blizzard now use, what a reaction shatter. OG not going to be surviving, but he got the players down, at least trying to stall it out. Yaki falling as well. Going to be stalling up this point here. Very split positioning right now from the Florida Mayhem. BQB is walled off, unable to really do much. Gargoyle on the high ground as well. It is so scrappy, so messy. Eventually, the Vancouver Titans are just about grinding it out. Gonna find this checkpoint A now with 2.5.
The Ant Matrix is into the wall, but at least it's on that side of the Ant Matrix, I suppose.
Okay, you can see the Gravitic Flux is actually cancelled as well somehow. In the middle of that one, Gargoyle not getting what he was looking for. Still, Linksa will fall. A lot of damage being pumped out. The Ice Wall is going to be blocking a ton of it. Still, the card is being contested, not being pushed in just yet, and Shredlock will fall. The overwhelming might of the Florida Mayhem just overcoming what the Vancouver Titans were throwing at them. And that is a brutal one.
Split. It's OG, Slime, and Yaki on one side, and then the damage dealers on an off angle.
So the Earth Shadow was laid down there. OG also going to be matching with one of his own. I think it's just Fried Wiener on the floor, but that's all he needs. Again, 3-second rule. Wouldn't recommend eating it, but OG is the one who's cleaning it up.
Saddle up, we're in this for the long haul. BQB, he's got into such a nasty position.
Are you kidding me? Nobody checking this. They didn't hit a sound cue from behind. Or at least, I think they may have got confused because Linksa used his Deadeye at the same time, possibly? It's the only sort of justification I can think of for that. But nobody was aware of it, and he ends up catching the two players out, setting his team up beautifully for the rest of the fight. 9 seconds remaining here, Josh, and it looks like we're going to be seeing the full hold.
Yeah, you don't have to look so worried, BQB. Your team's got it locked up in the back.
There you go.
That's it. The Florida Mayhem, they come away with...
You can see Slime just peppering in damage, seeing if he can convert it into anything, and that is way too much for Shredlock to overcome. He's going to be brought down initially. They still need to deal with a lot of these other threats. However, the longer this fight goes, and I say this often, the better it's going to look here for the attackers. Florida spawn just right next to it. Going to be wandering out. And the fight eventually, inevitably, will be going their way. You see Rolf actually using the amplification matrix. Deadeyes were used by both these players, and look at the damage. I mean, it's just evident right there in the kill feed. OG and Gangnam were the ones who fell early on in the team fight. Yaki just gave up there. He realizes it's pretty much futile. Perfectly timed Soundbire by Fire as he's trying to keep his team back into it, but a Gravitic Flux now should be free. It's a ton of damage. Can anyone get anything out of it? Yes, they can. It's going to be the DMX. Shredlock, the tank line removed now. Vancouver Titans don't have anything to really stand behind. Have to try and stand on their own 2 feet. It's going to be difficult to do. As Florida Mayhem are just pumping out an onslaught of damage. And with that team fight win, it's quite awkward. It's probably going to mean that this... OG went for it, a reaction play. A couple of swings going in, and Deadeye actually does catch BQB as well. Vancouver Titans with an opportunity now. A big pick there. BQB was a tremendous amount of the damage that was being offered for them, and Shredlock just going to seal it and lock it away. The Earth Shatter just connecting onto OG, but that's the only target he needed. That means the Florida Mayhem going to be going back to the... Recognize that. You can see them being chased in close quarters, the amplification matrix. Linksa was chasing one of the players. It does mean that Slime is going to be able to contest this, and the players are falling here. This was pretty much in their hands. All they had to do was just play safe and conservative and prevent them from touching the point, but they don't do it. The Vancouver Titans, they were handed something, but they may have just dropped it on the ground. Shredlock and Terror are going to be falling next to D-Mech onto Fried Wiener and the Florida Mayhem. They see weakness, they pounce. Can't let it get to you. Move forwards now. The Deadeye going to be used by Florida Mayhem, just trying to peel them away. Blizzard overlaid as well, just trying to catch these players, but look at that Gravitic Flux. Soundbire instantaneously. Okay, the Earth Shatter counted out. OG going to be connecting at least onto Linksa. This fight is going all sorts of different ways. The Ice Wall trapping Fire in. If Fire gets frozen, it could be over, but he just left a slight gap, and it allowed Fried Wiener.
BQB is looking at Deadeye from the high ground. So many targets.
Okay. Kills gonna be traded. Links are gonna be cancelled out of that Deadeye. And the Blizzard's gonna be locking down the point. Another Gravitic Flux is a ton of damage. Gargoyle with 3. Look at the work he's being putting in right now. He's gonna be using the shield to block a lot of the damage coming his way. And he has just some feeling. Anyway, we'll see. Freeze up onto the Fried Wiener. They're gonna be using a self-destruct just to try and get back in the Soundbire by Fire. It's going to be a big advantage. They're trying to force OG into this corner, but he's swinging away. He's still alive. They've kept him up, but not for much longer. He will fall. Still, the overtime will burn. They need to try and bring down some of these players here. Nobody's taking care of Gargoyle, but they didn't take down Shredlock. And now they're just going to be approaching him with the shield here. You can see eventually trying to bring him down. He used the grass just to try and heal himself up any sort of amount, but not enough. And they're going to be stopped dead short there. Wriggled his way out of both of those ice walls as Terror tried to trap him in. Look at this already. It's going to be BQB finding the first opening pick as Linksa will fall. The Immortality Field as well going down as Rolf used it a little bit earlier than his counterpart. And that is a very successful forward hold here by the Florida Mayhem. They're going to be pleased with that. They didn't lose anything, which means they can still keep the forward hold going. So far with a lot of this Ice Wall placement. Oh, and Linksa winning out that fight, but look at that Earth Shatter. It's going to be a connection onto Rolf and Linksa. And it's enough damage put in that Slime can just finish up Rolf in the backline. He's still hunting for targets, but it's looking a lot more favorable despite the look of it, the outlook for the Vancouver Titans, because the players are starting to respawn. They can just dip right back into the spawn door. The Immortality Field comes up to keep Linksa up. And eventually they will be the winners. Yeah,
it took a long time though.
So again, with the Deadeye this time, comboing it up, the Vancouver Titans looking for a pick-off. A lot of damage being pumped into them. The Gravitic Flux as well. It's going to be in a sound barrier coming through, but look at this. The Vancouver Titans, they will not be denied this. Rolling through this first checkpoint now. OG caught out of position. Again, an inevitability. That's a big word.
Yeah, easy for you to say. Lynx has been a beast for the Vancouver.
By two, them. If they can get a pick-off, might be doable here to just try and stop them early on. Earth Shatter connects onto two. They're going to be frozen up in the process as well as the Blizzard was already laid down. So the Florida Mayhem be dropped, eventually fading here. Another big flashbang as well, connecting onto two players. Florida Mayhem just hemorrhaging players in this team fight.
The staircase outside, Brent, is such a crucial point of control.
Here, Friedwinner trying to get in there with the Diva. The charge comes through, but Linksa with the Deadeye. It is chaos in the upper rafters section as ultimates are being strung out all over the place. Shredlock with the Shatter is going to connect. Gargoyle will fall. Fire just trying to at least follow up on a lot of this work that's being done. BQB 7 health, unable to really contest this and touch this. The Immortality Field not enough, and the Vancouver Titans rolling it in. Nice and healthy, but they've got to try and coordinate something and get something going with the Wrecking Ball here.
Vancouver Titans are running a very pokey comp, and they've managed to push Florida and bait them into diving. This is, that was a unique approach, and I'm surprised that it worked so phenomenally.
Messing around in the backline here, trying to apply a lot of pressure to BQB, and they get the kill as well. And now with the forward positioning still, the Nano Boost applied onto OG means that he can cause a bit of havoc as well. Needs to back away, but now the Primal Rage comes out. Maybe he can collect a kill or two. Beautiful mechanics as well. Just singling out Linksa there in the middle of that fight. And it buys enough time for the rest of his team to get in, but not before. It's given the Vancouver Titans about a tick to work with, 41%.
OG is so talented on the Winston.
For it. You can see the Fry win, and look at this. Just lobbing the Grav in. Rolling through, the damage is more than enough to pop the shield, the bubble that was placed on him. Gargoyle off the high ground. They're going to try and get this shield bash to rally, just trying to keep them up. But it's pretty much only on Slime. It looks like the Florida Mayhem are disciplined enough to just focus onto the back line as well. They noticed that the Vancouver Titans may have been weak there, but Yaki. This guy is just a bit of a freak when it comes to the Tracer. A lot of damage being done here, and his team needs to back him up for OG to just re-engage, burst the bubble, maybe get a pick. Indeed, his team does. Beautiful follow-up happening here. And they did end up using the Nano Boost earlier in that fight. I'm not sure what the target was.
Yeah,
I'm going to be pretty big if he can catch it onto any sort of targets. And look at that, he's managed to catch two of them. The Transcendence by Rolf comes through, but it's not going to stop that post-bomb damage. Yaki! Nice little 2K. 13 seconds remaining now. Bob as a last-ditch attempt here, as Linksa sends it out into the fray, but ultimately not enough, as no players will really be coming even close here. Shredlock moving over to the Wrecking Ball, just trying to make it happen. Not going to be the case. That's going to be
to generate any Primal Rage. He's going to take that Zarya bubble and work around the right-hand side. Slime caught, though. Well played by Shredlock, but he gets punished in return.
It's going to be that 1-for-1. Slime gets caught out of position, but look at this Nano Boost, 100 charge as well. Lay it up onto Gargoyle. God, that is frightening. It's a good feeling though when you're the Zarya, I'll tell you that for free. I mean, when you got 100 energy to Nano Boost, you are unstoppable.
And that is just beast mode.
Yeah.
Get out with his life. Here we go, jump into the backline as well. They have a Primal, but no Nano. OG though, immediately with the kill on roll.
Yep, OG with a kill on Rolf, and he was battering fire into the corner to set up Yaki with the post-spawn play, but Dalton has tried to turn it around himself. Forced out the south bubble, and it's him and Shredlock who are actually being applied to OG, and instantly going for the counterplay. The grab is laid down here by Fried Wiener, just trying to catch them out, but they've already lost Dalton and fire. Could be disastrous for them already. Look at that tick going right up as Bob is just laying down suppressive fire from the point in the corner, and nobody can touch it. And it's going to end with a whimper there as the Florida Mayhem are the ones to close it out 3-1.